Welcome back to Disgaea land, of the 4th variety to be exact. Disgaea 4 Complete Plus is the definitive version of Disgaea 4, with all the previous versions' content and DLC bundled in. The aim of this guide is to outline your entire Disgaea journey, from a new save file all the way to level 9999 and beyond to the Platinum Trophy, or Steam Ribbon or whatever. The first big section is the basics, how general gameplay works, especially how it differs from previous games, all the different NPCs you can utilize in the hub world, and some classes and innocents that will be useful to you. The next big section is the game itself. Good grinding maps for the main story, unlocking post-game map scenarios like Mount Ordeal in the land of Carnage, getting to max level, increasing your stats, how to obtain and efficiently level up strong items, everything you can do to get stronger. And finally, we'll go through all of the achievements and how to get them. So without further ado, welcome to Disgaea 4 Complete Plus. Now, Disgaea is a series that very much builds on itself, and I normally don't bother going in depth into mechanics you would already know very well from previous games and explained already in previous guides, mostly for the logistics of not having to reiterate 5 pages of the same information in every video, but given that Disgaea 4 is a popular one and where a lot of people start, I'll try to at least go a little more in depth about what's actually going on so that even if you've never touched a Disgaea before, things will still make sense. Starting off a little on the general side, basic gameplay differences. Namely, how skills work. These differ slightly in every game, and it's important to know how to get skills and where they're coming from. Just like in Disgaea 3, instead of having weapon mastery, each character and class has a weapon forte, and this dictates which skills they can learn, because skills come in 2 primary types: weapon skills and unique skills. Unique skills are, as the name implies, unique to a specific class or character, and you learn new ones by leveling up, but you'll know them because they have this hand icon. Weapon skills are indicated by the icon of the weapon they're tied to, and each weapon has a specific set of 9 skills that they can use. So, a user with an axe forte can learn the axe-specific skills, and so on. You don't have to level up or anything, these skills are all available in the Evility shop by default, but cost mana to purchase. Also, higher tiers of classes can learn higher tiers of weapon skills and their lower tier counterparts. More on that in a bit. In general, only 6 weapon skills for each weapon will be purchasable, or less if the character just isn't capable of naturally learning them. The 7th, 8th, and 9th tier skills of weapons will come into play later. Also new to Disgaea 4 is Fusion, in which you can fuse 2 monster type classes together to become Big Monster, where you'll become stronger, but your SP is drained every turn. Pretty much everything else, basic gameplay-wise, is very familiar to the games that came before, but I'll elaborate on things more as they become relevant. As for all the different mechanics and hub world NPCs, there's a lot of different things you can use here, and we'll go through them one by one. First off, the tried and true shop works basically the same exact way. Your customer rank will increase as you spend hell, which will allow you to pass the more expensive stuff bill in the assembly, called the Senate in this game, to raise your product rank for stronger items. The max customer and product rank is 12, and just like in previous games, the shop is actually randomized. You'll get a random selection of items up to a certain strength depending on your product level every time you open the shop. On the subject of items though, the rank system is still in place. Each item has a secret rank from 1 to 40. Weapons and armor each have 40 main variations pertaining to these ranks, each stronger than the last, and with the maximum product rank at the shop, you'll be able to buy up to rank 30 items. As always, an item chart will be linked in the description. At first, you'll only be able to obtain up to rank 34 items. Items above rank 30 can be found in chests or stolen from enemies you encounter in maps or the item world. Items of even higher ranks can only be found in the land of Carnage, but that is for much later. Item rank isn't to be confused with item rarity, which you can visibly see in an item's stats. This determines whether the item is common, rare, or legendary, with a smaller rarity being better. 0 through 7 items are legendary. I should also mention that you actually get a 10% stat boost per matching item of the same exact rarity value that you have equipped. All 4 items of the same rarity will give you a 30% stat boost. This will kind of happen automatically since there's a super easy way of duping items in this game, so the rarities of all your accessories will just match anyway. But if you really want to squeeze out that extra 10% stat boost, which you don't really need, you can keep reloading and re-entering the item god floors to reset the rarity of the item they have equipped. Rare items are a little stronger than their common counterparts, and even more so with legendary items, but the main distinction is actually how many item world floors they have. Common items have 30 floors, rare items have 60, and legendaries have 100. The Dark Assembly works the same too, although again it's called the Senate in this game, so that's what I'll refer to it as from now on. You get mana by defeating enemies, the stronger the enemy the more mana, which can be used at the Assembly, among other things, to pass bills that will give you all sorts of different effects. If the chances to pass a bill are too low, given that you're strong enough, you can persuade the Senate by force, and if you manage to defeat all the opposing senators, you pass the bill. You can also just pay to have it passed. Some important bills you'll be using a lot are the aforementioned more expensive stuff bill, and of course this is also where you can reincarnate and create new characters. A quick rundown if you're new to Disgaea. You can reincarnate characters to set them back at level 1, but you get a certain amount of extra points to allocate to their base stats based on the amount of stored levels that character has, which means the cumulative amount of levels the character has had upon each reincarnation. This starts at 0 for your first reincarnation and builds from there. Of course, this means that reincarnating at level 9999, the max level, is most effective, and generally you won't need to reincarnate until you're about there anyway, but if you want a little stat boost to help you out earlier, go for it. As for creating classes, monster classes are unlocked by defeating them in maps, and humanoid classes are unlocked by having other humanoid classes at certain levels. Each class has 6 tiers, unlocked by having the tier below it at a certain level. There's not too much of a difference between tiers other than slightly higher stat potential, and some skills or abilities they may learn that lower tiers don't. For example, only the tier 6 thief, the master thief, can learn the ability Lucky Finger. This is a pretty useful one, as we'll discuss later. Bundled in with the Senate is the Campaign HQ, which essentially acts as this game's club system from Disgaea 3. It's presented as a kind of strategy board that you can place symbols on to give you various effects. These are like your clubs. Each symbol has its own area of effect you can place your characters on to give them the symbol's effect. Each symbol has a leader tile, which may or may not be important depending on the symbol. For example, the Rosenqueen symbol, unlocked after episode 2 of the main story, adds an extra item shop NPC whose stock changes depending on which tile the symbol is placed on. It has a leader tile, but it's meaningless. This is also the only way to get belts, shoes, and glasses in the shop, by the way. However, arguably the two most important symbols you'll be using are the Aura Pyramid and Training Ground, both available by default, which allows the leader of each symbol to share the mana and XP they gain, respectively, with the other members of the symbol. These become extremely useful in post-game to quickly level up and give mana to weaker characters. Some symbols can also be unlocked through bills, but most require doing specific things to unlock. There are a lot, so other important ones will be brought up when relevant. Or feel free to look up the whole list of them on the Disgaea wiki. Hell, I'll even link it in the description. And of course, the Item World, which received a little bit of a revamp. For those uninitiated, the Item World allows you to go into an item and clear floors to level it up, by either killing all the enemies on that floor or just going into the portal. One floor cleared equals 1 extra level to your item, with the maximum level for an item in Disgaea 4 being 300. Remember, even legendary items only have 100 floors. We'll get to how we obtain all those extra levels later. The boss on floor 100 of a legendary item, the Item God, or Item God 2 in the case of a rank 40 item, will always be holding the item of the next rank up. For example, if you're inside a legendary version of the rank 39 sword, the Yoshitsuna, you'll be treated to the Item God holding the rank 40 sword, the Baal sword. Rank 40 items are always legendary, by the way, but if you're going for a non-rank 40 item, you can keep reloading and re-entering floor 100 until the Item God is holding a legendary. In the Item World, a yellow mystery gate will spawn every few floors or so that you can go into for one of many mystery rooms that will each have their own effect, and you'll be spat out on the same floor you went in on. Similarly, at the end of a turn, a pirate group may appear. They're generally stronger than the normal enemies, and they may have unique gear on them that you can steal, and will drop a pirate ship part when defeated. If you see any of this unique gear, like a fun weapon indicated by that yellow circle with the exclamation point, if you're able to, be sure to steal those from them. Just trust me, you don't want to waste any more time than you have to looking for them later on, because you will need to look for them. Just get ahead of the game. For every 20 floors you've cleared in an item, you'll be able to reverse pirate it, for a maximum of 5 times. This is where you become the pirates and get dropped off in a floor containing various rewards to collect via chests, level spheres, and a bunch of innocents. You'll need to build a pirate ship to do this, which you can do with the pirate ship editor. You can only stay on a reverse pirate floor for a certain number of turns based on your pirate ship parts. So if you're gunning for anything specific, like a certain innocent, make sure to get that first. More about Innocence soon. Totally new to Disgaea 4 are the different routes you can take in the item world. Every 5 floors, including the boss floors on every 10th floor, you'll simply be asked what route you want to go on before moving on. There are 2 portals you can go into. One pertains to the item route and the other pertains to the innocent route. Your routes and depth in the item world are indicated by this triangle. It's not super cut and dry, but when you go through a portal, you'll be moved slightly more towards the corresponding side of the triangle. Being close to the item route side means you're probably on the item route, and same with the bonus route. The innocent route makes subduing innocents more effective than the normal 2 times their unsubdued level, up to nearly 4 times near the top of the item world. This is actually pretty useless. You're going to want to be going down the item route 99% of the time, because there are way easier ways to increase innocent levels. The item route increases an item's level more when you go into it, plus 1 level the first time you go into it, and plus 2 for each subsequent time, as well as making level spheres spawn more often. Level spheres give you 5 bonus levels each, and you get them by having a character lifting them up while another character goes through the portal. Don't destroy the sphere, you won't get its effects. More on that later when we talk about getting items up to level 300. However, there is a secret, more sinister 3rd route, the treasure route, which you're put on when you're in between the other 2 routes on the triangle, more towards the middle area. This just makes treasure chests spawn more often. Like the innocent route, it's kinda pointless. You are gonna want to go on each of the routes at some point though, because a lot of pirate groups only spawn on certain routes. And now, some of them only spawn after a certain amount of turns as well, meaning that just waiting a turn or 2 to find pirates before proceeding might not be enough. The wiki has a great list of all the pirates, which routes they're on, and their turn specifications, which will naturally be in the description. Of course, Evilities make a return to Disgaea 4 along with the Evility shop. Evilities give each character and class some kind of passive effect. Each character and class has their own unique Evility, which is fixed and can never be changed or transferred, but they also have unique selections of secondary Evilities they can buy and equip from the Evility shop. The Evility shop is also where you buy skills. Any secondary Evility can be transferred to any other class or character through the Chara World. The Chara World is just the class world from Disgaea 3. It works in almost the exact same way. You can go into a character just like you can go into an item in the item world, except the Chara World only contains 10 floors, and you can run a character multiple times, with a maximum based on their candidate rank. This is what you choose upon creating and reincarnating that character, which gives you more points to allocate. A good for nothing gets 2 Chara World runs, and a genius can get up to 6. If you've already used all of them on a character though, don't despair, they are reset upon reincarnating, so just reincarnate the character, and you can run them again. Before you go in, you choose which perk you want the run to give them. More movement, jumping power, counters, throwing range, crit chance, and the 2 big ones, skill inheritance and Evility inheritance. All of these perks are claimed on floor 9 of the item world, with the yellow mystery gate that spawns there. Skill inheritance and Evility inheritance let the character you're in the Chara World of learn a skill or Evility from a character within the same evil symbol as them, using the mana pool of the character you're inside of, aka the one receiving the skill or Evility. For skills, this only works for weapon skills, not unique skills. So if you want to transfer an axe skill from Fuka to a battlesuit, which is a bad example because they both specialize in axes, so you would never really need to do that, but for some reason that's what I came up with and that's what I have footage of. You make sure the battlesuit has enough mana to purchase it, place the battlesuit and Fuka in the same evil symbol, it doesn't matter which one, then you go into the Chara World of the battlesuit and choose skill inheritance, climb to floor 9, and claim the skill you want from the mystery gate. Skills and Evilities obtained this way all cost 10 times their original cost, by the way, so if the skill costed Fuka 4,000 mana to buy naturally, the battlesuit will need 40,000 mana to buy it from her in the Chara World, and you can only claim 1 per run. However, just like in Disgaea 3, you can discount the price by destroying every geoblock on a floor for a 5% discount per floor you do this on. Given that the portal is on floor 9, you can get up to a 45% discount by clearing all the geoblocks on every other floor, as tedious as that may be. That's not the only benefit of clearing all the geoblocks though. Once per run, clearing all the geoblocks on a floor spawns an extra mystery portal, in which there can be one of 2 NPCs. An evil symbol developer, who can enhance the range of the evil symbol the character you're inside of is in, or a Prinny Combat Master, who can teach you all weapons tier 7 and 8 skills. And this is the only way to get them. And again, only 1 can be bought per encounter. Oh, so you want all of them? Good luck encountering this dude 12 times. Trust me, you're gonna need to do it. The Chara World also has a byproduct of increasing the character's aptitudes. Some points will be allocated at random at the end of the run, and killing the floor 10 boss will increase the amount of points a bit. In addition, you may see these special floor clearing blocks occasionally. Destroying one has a chance of spawning a few different special cubes. Destroying an aptitude cube will give you some more aptitude points, and an Evility cube will have the character learn an extra random Evility. Last note, there is no Disgaea 4 equivalent to the dropouts from Disgaea 3 in the Chara World, which are the clones that could spawn occasionally. But trust me, we will not need them. Now this next NPC you won't need for a while, but sooner or later you'll unlock the Discipline Room. Unlike previous Disgaea games where capturing an enemy by throwing them into your base panel will just make them join your party, in Disgaea 4 they'll be sent to the Discipline Room with 1 HP. Here you can choose a variety of torture options which will decrease their SP by different amounts depending on the class you're torturing. Remember that you can only capture classes you yourself have unlocked, down to that specific tier you're trying to capture. Salvatores will also need to be at or above their level. As you drain their SP, you'll get some negotiation options, which each have their specified effect, but you'll need it drained all the way to unlock the Find Treasure option, which will make a chest appear on a random map with a unique item in it. You'll also need to have the Discipline Room evil symbol to do this, and the more characters you have in that symbol, the more torture options you have. This can be unlocked by throwing an enemy 3 times. Simple enough. The last main mechanic we'll talk about before jumping into the game is the Cheat Shop. This is new to Disgaea 4 and allows you to manipulate your gains of certain currency, namely mana, health, and XP. You have a certain amount of points to allocate to each, which increases for every chapter of the main story you clear and after some post-game maps too. So if you want to increase the amount of experience you gain, you'll have to lower the amount of something else you gain. You can also increase enemy strength from here, which will increase enemy stats and levels and therefore give you more resources for defeating them. This totally replaces the stronger enemies bill that was present in the previous 3 games. It's functionally the same thing with 20 different levels, but now you just set them via these stars instead, which is so much more convenient. This is insanely useful, so always keep it in mind. If you need to level up some more and think you can handle some stronger enemies, go for it. There are a few other options here too, such as turning off mystery rooms in the item world for some reason, but this also allows you to choose one type of pirate group to spawn more often, assuming the pirate is able to spawn on the route you're in. So if you're trying to find a certain type of pirate, there you go. Now, a little introduction to one of the most crucial aspects of Disgaea, innocence. In short, these come with items at suit or random and give them various effects. Red means they're unsubdued, so you can go into the item world until you encounter them. You'll know because there'll be a neutral unit and a big check bubble will appear upon entering the floor. And killing them will subdue them, raising their original level by twice the amount and allowing you to move them freely between items and combine them with any other innocents of the same type. Some innocents can only be found by reverse pirating, including most of the innocents we're about to go over that are practically a necessity for postgame. First off, of course, all the single stat boosting innocents are in place. These raise the applicable stat of your character when equipped by 1 per innocent level, and still have a cap of 19,998 per innocent. This isn't a soft cap though, meaning you can put multiple of these innocents on for all the benefits thereof. Besides statisticians, these are the only innocents that work this way. For others, the max is the best benefit you can get even if you have more equipped on your character. Professionals raise your crit chance by 1% per level with a cap of 100%. I don't think I need to explain why this is insanely useful. There's also a whole group of innocents that raise the stats you receive from equipping certain weapon or item types by 1% per level, with a max of 500. One for swords, one for axes, etc. For accessories, such as armor and emblems, this is the Guardian, meaning a maxed out Guardian will give you 500% more stats than normal when you equip an accessory. Leveling up the strongest accessories in the game and slapping one of these on your character is a big post-game goal to make you busted. And of course, the almighty statisticians. Statisticians increase the amount of experience you earn by 1% per innocent, with a max of 300 per innocent. However, like stat boosting innocents, this is not a soft cap. Slap as many of these as you can on your character for a massive boost to experience. Stat boosting innocents and professionals can actually be found normally on items you receive, either through the shop or from chests or anything. But mastery innocents, like our Guardian, and statisticians can only be found by reverse pirating. The higher the reverse pirate floor, the greater the chances of these appearing. As for some notable classes, the Masked Hero is an absolute champion of the item world, with his high movement stat and ability to move through obstacles and enemies without being obstructed, an ability known as flying. Slap on some shoes, and you'll be breezing through floors. For utility, the Professor is a new class in Disgaea 4 and functions much like the Cheerleader in Disgaea 3. It has buffs for pretty much all stats outside of the main 6. Movement, throwing, counters, crit chance, and even magic range. For main stat buffs, the Flora Beast has all main 6 and all tiers of healing. For the most part, of course, just experiment and do whatever works for you when it comes to normal gameplay. However, in each of the games thus far, we've had one class reign supreme in terms of which is the best to be your big damage dealer. Who is going to be your juiced up, max level, universe crushing class out of all these? Trick question, none, it's actually Disgaea. Really, it can be anyone once you have your equipment all sorted, but for those just starting postgame for the first time, not only is Disgaea relatively strong, but she has super easy access to good area of effect skills. She learns a 3x3 at level 100, that's insane! Yogg Sothoth is going to carry you, I promise, but more on that later. And with all of that out of the way, what will your Disgaea 4 journey look like? I usually don't go too much into detail about the main story, since like 90% of all Disgaea games is postgame, but I do like to go over great maps to grind on, the main of which is map 5-2. This is because you can exploit a crazy mechanic where defeating an enemy that is exactly level 99 will give you a ton more experience than normal, specifically about as much as a level 300 enemy would give you. On this map, setting the cheap shop difficulty at 8 stars will make every enemy on this map level 99. On top of that, there are 4, with 2 being easily accessible, plus 50% experience geoblocks to throw on the map. So once you're able to handle it, set your cheat shop difficulty to 8 stars to make the enemies level 99, throw your geoblocks on, and go crazy. An extremely similar thing can be done on map 9-4. Setting the cheat shop difficulty to just 1 star will make all 10 enemies in this group level 99 with an experience boosting geoblock to boot. But don't stop there, because once you finish the main story, you can unlock Mount Ordeal for 7,000 mana in the Senate. This bill will only appear if you have enough mana to pass it. So if you don't see it, don't worry, just get 7,000 mana and it should appear. The name Ordeal will be extremely familiar to those who have played any of the previous games, but this set of maps contains the best grinding spot in the game. In Disgaea 4, this is Mount Ordeal 4. But before we get too ahead of ourselves, let's talk about the post-game story real quick. You can progress through the post-game story by passing a series of bills after the main story. The first bill, titled something something Dark Hero, I wonder who that's about, costs 1,000 mana, with each subsequent bill costing double the last. The final bill costs 256,000 mana, called Badass Overlord. In order, these are Axel, Flan, Rasbarrel, Etna, Lahorl, Asagi, Pringer X, and Zeta. And then Pringer X again. After you defeat Zeta, another map will show up called Pringer X Roar, where it's just a slightly different fight and you can fight this infinitely many times. There are some extra bosses you can find too, but these are the ones that lie directly on this post-game story path, and Mount Ordeal will help you clear them. Pro tip, make sure to steal the Prinny suit from your first encounter with Pringer X, this is the only place to get it. If you defeat him without stealing it, he will not have it equipped in the refight and you'll need to start a new cycle to get it. It's also a good idea to steal the Micaiah Wars from Zeta, but otherwise you can still get one in the Pringer X refight. This is where you'll likely start really utilizing Disgaea once you're trying to get through these post-game maps and leveling up. She can pretty easily hit these groups of enemies on Ordeal 4, not to mention there's an experience plus 50 percentile in each of the middle enemies. Just try to power level as much as you can on the aforementioned story maps and even with Mount Ordeal maps you're able to do. At this point, statisticians aren't going to be very plentiful unless you're willing to climb 100 floors of a super low rank item just to reverse pirate for a few of them. But manipulating experience gain in the cheat shop, buffing yourself with skills like Braveheart, and upgrading your skills in the Evility shop are all great ideas. Maybe even invest in some gladiators. Just be careful with upgrading skills since it skyrockets their SP cost, which may render them impractical. Thankfully, you can reverse skill upgrades in this game, unlike in Disgaea 3. And once you've powered through Mount Ordeal 3, it sucks so much ass, I know. Honestly, just power level some characters, preferably ones with high AoE and range for convenience's sake, because holy shit, there are a lot of enemies. Use Heavy Knight since they have a high throwing stat to throw characters around to quickly get to the Silence Geoblock. Remember, you can buff movement and throwing with Professors as well. Geoblock effects don't actually pertain to the base panel, so you can still use skills when you're standing on top of it. Lift it and throw it onto the yellow ally movement tiles on the Dragon Spine. Use another Heavy Knight to throw some characters in a tower onto the island at the bottom of the Dragon Spine, and use the rest of your tower to get closer to that silence block so you can destroy it and eliminate both silence and the ally move damage block in a geochain to quickly make this map a whole lot more bearable. Fuck this map. You'll arrive at the holy grail of grinding, Mount Ordeal 4. And holy shit, this is also a lot of enemies, you may be thinking. And you'd be correct, except we have Monster Fusion on our side. Monster Fusion massively increases the range of spells, so Desko's 3x3 will actually become a 5x3, able to destroy all but 2 of the enemies with one spell. Once you can handle this, you are unstoppable. Keep increasing the cheat shop difficulty appropriately, and your levels are just gonna keep soaring. And it's about now where you might want to look into some statisticians. Again, they're found mostly on floors 80 and 100 in reverse pirating, and thankfully it doesn't seem to make much of a difference what rank the item is. And don't worry, you only need but one statistician, and that goes for any innocent, because our good friend item duping is back. Yes, you can duplicate any item you want with the help of a specific item, the Puppy Paw Stick. This comes with a unique innocent that grants a 20% chance that any non-allied unit will drop a piece of equipment they're wearing when killed with it, innocents and all. In Disgaea 3, you were able to get around this non-ally restriction by utilizing dropouts, a clone of the class world character you were in, including their equipment that would occasionally appear. However, there's nothing like that in Disgaea 4. Instead, one of the generic classes, the Battlesuit, learns a unique skill called Run Wild that turns him into a neutral unit. Yeah, this is the easiest duping job ever. Slap whatever piece of equipment you want to dupe on him, use Run Wild, and, well, run wild. As for obtaining the Puppy Paw Stick, this is where your first real use of the Discipline Room comes into play. But first, use Mount Ordeal 4 to rack up a shit ton of hell, because the Puppy Paw Stick and other important things are much easier to obtain in a little set of maps known as the X Dimension. Yes, moan and groan, it's still here. The X Dimension is a set of maps that act as alternate versions of all the story maps, but much more difficult both in terms of enemy levels and in geo-block hell. To unlock X Dimension maps, you have to encounter not one, but 2 separate NPCs in Item World Mystery Rooms, the Scalper, who's a Ku Sith class. These NPCs sell tickets that each individually open one X Dimension map. Encountering one on floors 1 to 50 will let you buy half of them, and encountering one on floors 51 to 100 will let you buy the other half. And I promise it is pure luck. You may find these right away or even by accident earlier in the game, or you may be trying for hours. Thus is the plight of mystery rooms. Just note that the tickets for the second Scalper at floors 51 to 100 run for about, a billion hell each. The firsts are significantly cheaper. I can't actually show you because it's impossible to buy them twice, and I cannot find footage or anyone quoting the first Scalper's pricings for the life of me, and I really wish I remembered, but that's the ballpark you're looking for. You might just want to go for the first Scalper for now if you can't get that much money. You don't need to get them all immediately, just eventually. Once you've cleared some hellish X Dimension stages, you also get cool rewards for each 20% of X maps you clear, and some of them are very useful, as well as there being an achievement for completing all of them. So for the love of God, at some point, do that before starting a new cycle, because that will make you lose all of your progress on them, and you do not want to do any more of these, and you have to, I promise. You're ready for some treasure hunting. The Nekomata is the class you're looking for. Try to get one as high of a level as you can, and as a tip, X Dimension 1-1 literally contains nothing but one Nekomata. Just wait for her to use her skill to force you out of the no entry zone so you can throw the no entry geo block off and throw the Nekomata into your base panel. Now save and torture her with whatever option is most effective to drain SP. Once it's all drained, the negotiate option Find Treasure will appear, which spawns a random chest on a random map. The Nekomata in particular has a chance to drop the Puppy Paw Stick through one of these chests. And the reason we want to clear some X Dimension maps first is because the stick, and pirate ship parts for that matter, have a significantly higher chance of spawning there as opposed to normal maps. If you get a pirate ship part, trust me, you'll want to keep it, just go get another Nekomata. There's an achievement for getting all the pirate ship parts, which is a pain in the ass enough already, no need to make it any harder for yourself. Otherwise, feel free to reload your save and torture her again. Saving and loading after the chest spawns won't change what's inside, so be sure to save beforehand. And once you have your trusty Puppy Paw Stick, climb all the way up to the item world of some low rank legendary item to floor 100, thus unlocking all the reverse pirate floors. Stick whatever innocents you want to duplicate on it. I highly recommend starting on professionals and guardians in addition to statisticians, because you can basically just do all these at the same time. Slap the item on a battle suit, use Run Wild so it becomes a neutral unit, and just keep running the tutorial map or something, clearing it if you get the dupe and resetting if you don't. You will be bathing in innocents and items. The reason I recommend using an item with all the floors cleared as a vehicle for duping innocents is so that you build a very large supply of reverse pirate floors you can then go and grind later. Once you have a crazy amount of whatever you want, you can keep running Mount Ordeal 4, get to max level if you haven't already, and then you may want to look for bigger and better things. Worry not, my friend, the land of Carnage awaits. Although unlocking it is a bitch and a half. Here's the easy part. Clear at least 39% of X Dimension maps. Once you get the reward for clearing 40% of them, you know you're there. And yes, that is the easy part. The hard part is acquiring all of the Flanzor X ship parts. Consider this an appetizer of what is to come later down the road. Obtaining these parts is much the same process as finding the puppy paw stick. Use certain classes to find treasure. Here are the classes that are able to find each Flanzor X part, and I'll link some different pages in the description for them as well. It may take a while depending on how your RNG is, but keep at it and you'll find yourself finally building the Flanzor X and unlocking the Land of Carnage. The Land of Carnage, as it has been in all games it's been in thus far, is literally just the normal world, but stronger. All enemies are supercharged, and where there are stronger enemies, there are more plentiful gains to be had. So once you're able to handle Mount Ordeal 4 here, then you'll be truly unstoppable. But first, equipment. Because not only are there more plentiful gains, but the rank cap on items is lifted in the Land of Carnage. Here, you're able to encounter enemies and chests equipped with items up to rank 39, with rank 40 items only being able to be stolen from the item god of a legendary rank 39 item. For those who played Disgaea 3, you'll remember the Trapezohedron. This is the rank 40 emblem type weapon with relatively high values in all stats. Getting one of these to max level in the right ways will skyrocket your stats. But first, we need the rank 39 emblem, the Arcadia. This point may be a little bit controversial because the Trapezohedron is not really the totally agreed on best item. For example, there's the Invincible Armor, which is significantly easier to obtain than a Trapezohedron if you feel like going up 2 sets of 100 item world floors, and gives you some more movement and jump stats, which the Trapezohedron does not. But 1, I like to stick to tried and true, and 2, the Trapezohedron does have significantly higher numbers in a lot of the important stats. I believe the Invincible Armor was a lot more championed in previous versions of Disgaea 4, where you could actually kill item bosses infinitely many times for an infinite amount of boosts, making it possible to completely max out stats of any item, whereas like in most other games in Disgaea 4 Complete Plus, you can only kill item bosses twice for the benefits thereof. So really, this is your choice. I'm going to stick to Trapezohedrons for now as an example, because that's what I did in my playthrough, and that's what I 100%ed with. I just like the security of ending up with higher numbers. But if you have any other insights as to the benefits between one over the other, feel free to leave them in the comments. The Invincible Armor, by the way, is a rank 41 item. Yes, you heard me right, rank 41. They added rank 41 items in Disgaea 4. You just need to run through the item world of a rank 40 and steal the rank 41 from the item god 2, just like with any other. This only applies to weapons and armor. No other weapon types have rank 41 variants. Now, since the Trapezohedron is a rank 40 item, you'll need a legendary rank 39 emblem, the Arcadia. Now, an easy way to get this is from the second Pringer X fight, but you might not be able to do that yet. See, it's highly recommended you make a tier 6 thief, since that's the only class and tier that can learn the Lucky Finger Evility. This Evility raises the rank of any items you get out of a chest by 1 more than it normally would have been. Up to a max of rank 39, of course. Don't think you can do this to cheese pulling rank 40s out of chests, unfortunately. You can then transfer Lucky Finger with the Chara World to your big damage dealer and grind the hell out of reverse pirating floors of a high ranked item to try to get an Arcadia out of a legendary chest. And keep in mind, you don't have to stay in the Land of Carnage when going through the item world. Feel free to go back to the normal world to have a much easier time. Just when you do get up to the very top, Gensi out of the item at floor 99, remember, save, then go back into the item in the Land of Carnage, since that's the only place you'll be able to get the rank 40. Steal it from the item god using either your thief or any other max character, although thieves are inherently the only class that can have a 99% chance of stealing as opposed to a max of 50%, and clear the stage to secure your Trapezohedron. The only thing to do now is level the thing. Aside from just getting your item to level 300, you can also take various steps to increase the actual amount of stats it gives you, which we'll go over first. We'll utilize the following: single stat innocence of whatever stat you want to focus on, most likely attack, double killing item bosses, and the item assembly that has a chance to spawn in the innocent town, which in and of itself has a chance to spawn after every 10th floor. First off, your stats actually grow faster for each single stat innocent you have on your item. It doesn't matter what level they are, so you don't need to have level 19,998 innocents on your item, only the amount of slots occupied by them. At first, a legendary item will have 6 slots, so if it already came with some unsubdued innocents, you'll have to clear those out. Save and keep entering the item on floor 1, resetting if one of those innocents doesn't appear. If one does, subdue it and Gensi out so you remain on floor 1. Rinse and repeat until they're all gone, and then take 6 subdued single stat innocents, gladiators for attack, and fill all those slots. Now, you can start climbing your item. First, we'll go over how to actually raise your stats, and then we'll go over how to get your bonus levels. Each item boss, the boss that appears on the portal every 10th floor, actually gives you an extra stat boost when killed, as well as a little level boost. And not only that, but this works twice per boss, meaning you can kill it for the stat boost, get C out of the item, re-enter the floor, kill the boss again, and get another stat boost. Do this on every 10th floor. Also note that on floors 30 and 60, killing the item boss will open one more innocent slot on your item, for a max of 8, so make sure to put another one in after those floors so you don't lose out on any potential gains. The third and last way to maximize stats is by utilizing the item assembly. You'll notice that every time you clear a 10th floor, you'll get the option to either keep going after choosing which route to take, or you'll enter the Innocent Town, which has all sorts of NPCs to give you a little breather before leaving or continuing on. When you enter one of these, there's a chance it will contain this chicken NPC, which is the item assembly. Here, you can pass various bills, among them being the increase stat bill, which will increase the amount that stat grows. Of course, you want to pass these for your desired stat whenever you can, or you can also pass one for movement, and some people actually recommend not doing these for stats at all and just doing all movement bills. Movement can be pretty convenient after all. And again, that's another reason why some people champion the invincible armor over the trapezohedron. Regardless, do whatever you want here. But of course, the increased stat bill will give you more of that stat, so if that's really what you want above all else, there you go. For legendary items, the max times this NPC will appear is 6, but weirdly enough, it never spawns on the 60th floor, meaning you'll want to encounter this thing on floors 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and 70. Of course, this can be done at the same time as your second item boss kill to reduce the amount of Gensis you use. When you go through the portal after your second kill, if you don't get an Innocent Town with an item assembly, reset and try again. This will ensure your stats are sufficiently boosted. As for the leveling process itself, you'll notice that even though the max level for an item in Disgaea 4 is 300, there are still only 100 floors. You'll want to stay strictly on the item path when leveling, since these portals give you some extra levels, but also increase the chance of level spheres spawning the further into the item world you get. These green spheres give you 5 extra levels upon clearing the floor if one of your characters is holding it when the floor is cleared. You will not get the bonus by destroying it. In fact, you better do this in one turn, so that the enemies don't destroy it and you lose out. This is about the one thing that's going to absolutely carry you. These level spheres are extremely common in the higher floors, to the point where you'll likely be leveling up 20 to 30 times per 10 floors, and even more so, you don't even need all 300 levels by floor 100, since reverse pirating will also spawn level spheres, and even stronger ones at that. Both yellow and red spheres can spawn here, and in fact do pretty often. The yellows are worth 10 and the reds are worth 15, meaning you really only need to get an absolute minimum of 225 levels by the time you clear the item world, since it's not that uncommon for both a red sphere and a yellow sphere to spawn on any reverse pirate floor. However, should you encounter them, there are a couple of mystery rooms that will give you bonus levels too, those being the ambush room and the fortune teller room. The ambush room puts you up against 7 enemies, and killing them all in 2 turns or less, it grants you some extra levels. The fortune teller is a coin flip. He'll either give you a good, great, bad, or horrible luck, with the positive ones giving you more levels and the negative ones actually reversing your levels. Although the fortune teller can be killed if you keep talking to him to get some levels back. Use the room at your own discretion. So to summarize, for leveling, stay on the item route and use level spheres and mystery rooms to be at a minimum level 225 by the end of the run. For stat boosting, clear the item of Unsubdued Innocence, pile on your own single stat boosting Innocence, double kill each item boss, remembering to put an Innocent on your item after floors 30 and 60, and pass the appropriate bill in the item assembly on floors 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and 70. Once you're done, reverse pirate for the rest of the levels, and the item you now possess will make you invincible, once you duplicate it a few times. In fact, I recommend duping your trap a few times throughout the leveling process, so you have something for your duper to wear that will make them strong enough to actually reasonably kill a battlesuit with one of these bad boys equipped. You can move all the gladiators over from the original max level one to a weaker duped version that your duper will have equipped for an easier time too. At this point, you'll basically be on top of the world stats-wise. Just slap a Guardian on there, maybe a Professional, maybe dupe a shit ton of max level gladiators as well. The world is your oyster at this point. Go play around, annihilate some extra bosses if you haven't already, and more importantly, start working on those trophies. Like always, we'll start with what I call the trivial achievements, aka the ones you'll get automatically just by playing the game and getting stronger. Everything you'll get by following the guide as it has been thus far. These include an achievement for simply starting a new game, one for clearing each chapter of the main story, one for dealing 100,000 damage in a single hit, one for collecting 100 million hell, one for clearing 30 item world floors, one for capturing an enemy, one for clearing all the post-game storyline maps, Axel, Flan, Raspberry, Etna, Laharl, Asagi, and Zeta, an achievement for entering the land of Carnage, and finally an achievement for getting an item to level 300. That's like half the achievements right there for doing relatively minute tasks. But don't worry, there's plenty of pain to come. The next section is a little meatier, achievements you may not have at this point and have to go out of your way for, but are still relatively simple. First off, losing a battle. Pretty self-explanatory, this means having 10 units die and getting a game over. Destroying an Axel statue. These can be found randomly in the item world, so just look out for them and destroy one. If you're lucky enough to encounter Axel's mystery room above floor 90 in the item world, there's always one in there too. Clear all X Dimension stages. You already know how to unlock them, now go clear them. Good fucking luck. Train 100 times. This means disciplining an enemy in the discipline room. You'll already have done this a number of times by now, but even if you don't have 100, don't worry about grinding it out. You'll get it automatically while working on other achievements since you still have plenty of disciplining left to do. Persuade the Dark Assembly by force 3 times. You probably have already done this for many of the post-game maps, but if not, this is self-explanatory. Max out your Rosenqueen level. Again, this is increased just by buying things. The max level is 12, and be sure to increase your product level in accordance with the Dark Assembly. Explode 10 Prinnies in a row. This can easily be done with the map editor. Just create 10 Prinnies, make a map that looks something like this, make sure each Prinny is at least a block away from one another since you need 10 consecutive explosions, Prinnies that explode at the same time don't count separately, and let her rip. And you know what, while we're in the map editor, let's get the 10 billion damage achievement out of the way too, because unlike in other games, this achievement is pretty simple. You can simply just stack a shit ton of ally boost blocks on top of each other to massively boost damage, but that alone still won't get you there. You can adopt Prinny Kurtis' unique Evility by fusing with him, which increases your damage by 10% for every empty tile in the area of effect of the skill you're using. So if you make the ally blocks with a cross shape like this, to allow room for a giant Disgaea to stand on it, fuse with Kurtis and bust out your 5x3 Yogg Sothoth on a low level Prinny or something, and just kinda win. Clear the Fuka and Disgaea show, which is unlocked in post-game and available through this Android NPC by the billboard. This also gets you a few new playable characters, as do Time Leap and the Flashback episode, which each also have an achievement. Time Leap is unlocked after the Fuka and Disgaea show via the same NPC, and the Flashback episode is unlocked in post-game via the normal Dimension Worlder. And before we get into more extra bosses, let's get the Epilogues out of the way. When you clear the final map of the main story, after the credits, you'll get a short epilogue segment with one of the main characters. By default, this will be Artina's, but you have to go out of your way to get the others, which all involve the World Tree Evil symbol. Here, you can select a leader and a type of bond that the leader will have with another character of your choosing, each having different requirements to actually establish said bond, and each having their own beneficial effect for the leader. To unlock Epilogues, you must have Valvatores as the leader and a specific established bond with each of the main characters. Technically Artina has one too, the Lover's Bond, but again, if you don't do anything, hers will play by default anyway. Each established bond can be broken via Senate bills. If you have multiple, there's an order of which one will take priority, so I recommend keeping a save file right before the final chapter, establishing all of these bonds, and seeing which one plays after the credits. Reload the save, remove all the bonds of the characters with epilogues you've already seen to get a new one, and rinse and repeat until you've seen them all. When the conditions are met for a bond to be established, you'll see a cutscene play out upon entering the campaign HQ, and the bond will be established. As for what all the bonds are, for Fenric, you need the Comrade bond. With Val as the leader and Fenric in the Comrade slot, perform 10 team attacks with Val and Fenric. Just put them next to each other and go crazy. For Fuka, you need the Mentor bond. For this, you need to have Val use one of Fuka's skills by standing adjacent to her 10 times. Disgaea is the step-sibling bond. You need the Defense Fortress Evil symbol for this one, which is available as a bill by default. Just make the area of the symbol overlap with the leader of the World Tree tile with Val on it, and you're good to go. Being in this evil symbol will enable a character to use the Protect action, which is done by having them use Defend adjacent to another character. Whenever that character is attacked, the defending one will jump in and take the hit for them. You need Val to protect Disgaea 10 times for the bond. And finally, a Measle is the Rivals bond. This is a weird one. You need to have them hit each other 10 times. To have an easier time having them not kill each other, reincarnate them to level 1, stack a bunch of high defense items on them, and go to town. Now that we have the epilogues out of the way, there's still some miscellaneous bosses and characters to collect. For example, Prinny Kurtis. Each time you hit an innocent town, there's a chance for Prinny Kurtis to appear as an NPC. Find him and talk to him 5 different times, and a bill will appear in the Senate for 64,000 mana that unlocks his boss fight. Defeat God. This is a special ending that requires you to solo the second to last map of the story with Val, with him being at level 500 or higher, and only on a second cycle. This will change the final map afterwards to be against 4 big mushrooms instead of the normal final boss. Clear the Netherbattle Tournament. This is a special set of maps that only unlocks after getting all of the other extra characters, including all the DLC characters, which just means the new party maps. This includes all the characters we've already talked about how to get, the post-game storyline, Prinny Kurtis, and you even get some characters from clearing the Fuka and Disco show, Time Leap, and the flashback episode. However, there is one that remains. Petta, Zeta's daughter from Makai Kingdom. To unlock her map, you must clear a game mode that can be found in the pirate ship editor called Command Attack. This uses your custom pirate ship to traverse 10 floors where you'll be judged by how many actions you take. An action is literally anything. Moving, lifting, throwing, attacking, etc. This means that one unit moving, lifting, and throwing a character counts as 3 separate actions. And ending a turn gives you a 5 action penalty, so you want to clear these floors in as little turns as possible, preferably on your first turn. Each floor features an event space, much like you'll find in the normal item world, which requires a specified number of units, ally, or enemy on top of them to activate. Activating it spawns the portal to the next floor and is the only way to get a portal. Otherwise, floors can be cleared by defeating all enemies or throwing this clear sphere onto your ship. When a portal spawns, it has a chance for a command keeper to be on top of it, basically just a gatekeeper, but defeating the command keeper will subtract your commands used by 5. Depending on your situation, it may actually use 5 commands just to be able to kill the thing, but oh well, you don't have a choice. The ship you build can heavily influence your stats. I highly recommend parts that increase your movement, since it'll be crucial to be able to get around easily in this mode. Load everyone up with shoes, place them on the edge of the right wing of your ship since that'll always be right up against the area, and I heavily recommend using units that can fly, such as masked heroes. If you have those, this shouldn't pose much of a problem. Now, the actual requirements for getting Petta is clearing all 10 floors of Command Attack with under 100 commands, and then her map will appear in the new party section titled Overlord's Daughter. And with that, you can finally challenge the Netherbattle Tournament. This mode is a bit weird. You can only use characters of relatively the same strength, corresponding to this difficulty you select in the beginning. You'll need to appoint a leader who will gain some benefits or whatever, but if you're in very endgame and have max traps and stuff, you can just choose the highest difficulty, put on a bunch of level 9,999 characters all trapped out in your squad, and clear these maps. Waiting for you at the end is none other than King Kuchevskoy, your final secret character. Now you're ready to challenge the biggest super boss required for achievements. Defeat Pringer X and Baal in the Land of Carnage. We've already seen how to unlock Pringer X, but Baal can only be unlocked when most of the extra characters are obtained. These are all the extra characters that are obtained not by doing extra chapters. So characters from Fuka and Disco show, Time Leap, Flashback episode, and Netherbattle Tournament don't apply, but all others do, including all of the new party maps. Yes, Petta as well. When the conditions are met, his map will appear in the new party section. First things first, you need to technically defeat Baal not once, but 5 times. He has an Evility that causes him to revive upon being defeated 4 times. Disco with max traps can one-shot him even in the Land of Carnage, so don't worry too much about that. What you should worry about is getting hit back. And his other new Evility, automatically attack any character that comes out of the base panel. This means you can't even deploy a character onto the field unless their stats are stupidly high enough to tank it. Here's the kicker though, you will get the achievement after only downing him once, meaning you could just storm in there, hit him, and leave. I'm getting a weird sense of deja vu here. This is especially convenient because every time you challenge him after the first time, you'll have to contend with 5 Baals, all with the same revival ability. If you want to do the full fight though, even in the Land of Carnage, not talking about the refight, it's not too bad with a little help of a certain item. The item obtained by clearing 80% of X Dimension maps, the Victory Daruma, has a unique innocent on it that causes physical attacks to be nullified on odd turns and magic ones to be nullified on even turns. Spoiler alert, all of Baal's attacks are physical, including his base panel attack, meaning that duping the Daruma and putting it on characters will enable them to walk out of the base panel no problem. Furthermore, since there's only one Baal, normally, you can just keep lifting Disco with a random unit for Baal to attack and kill so that Disco doesn't get slammed. and you only need to do this for even turns. This strategy makes it pretty easy to survive and knock out Baal. Pringer X is the same, with there being 8 of him, but unfortunately you can't do your first clear in the Land of Carnage. The map just won't show up, meaning you have to defeat him in the normal world first and then go into the Land of Carnage. But, just like Baal, and the last time this happened, you only need to defeat one of them to actually get the achievement, although clearing the entire fight is pretty easy. They can still be one-shotted by a trapped out Disgaea, so get a bunch of characters with high movement to throw them all next to each other so they can all be hit with Disgaea's 3x3 at once on the first turn. Monsters are super useful here since they have an innate ability to automatically toss any character or object thrown onto them without using their turn action. Since they won't use their action, you can move them around at any time and even put them back at the base panel when you're done. And that does it for most of the achievements. The achievements that are left, however, they are a bit of work. Welcome to the real Disgaea 4 grind. Let's start with a bit of a softball. Collect all treasure chests in the base. In each chapter of the main story, and then once more in postgame, there will be chests strewn around the hub world in different locations. They're all predetermined for each chapter, so I'll link a guide in the description that shows where each one is in each chapter. Yes, this means you need to play the entire story again, but you would have needed to do that anyway for the god ending. And you can't necessarily do this on a first cycle since some of these chests are simply too high up for Valvatores to reach. Jump height is determined by your character's level. Just make sure not to miss any chests and you're golden. Unlock every tier of every creatable class. By the time you're here, you'll likely have encountered every monster to unlock them. And again, each tier is obtained by just having a relatively high level of any tier of that class. The only classes that have unique unlock conditions are the Android, which unlocks after starting a new cycle, and the Enchanter and Medic, who are both unlocked via new party maps. Otherwise, all other humanoid classes will be unlocked as you level up others if they're not already. Therefore, the only thing you need to worry about is just taking one of each class and sticking them onto the XP share evil symbol with Disgaea as she tears apart Mount Ordeal 4 a million times. And one clear will get your units where they need to be. And since there are 6 tiers in total, 5 more tiers above the base tier, you need to do this 5 times for every single class, and you'll pop the achievement. And now, we get to the 3 big ones. This is where you start regretting your life choices. Starting with pirate ship parts. First off, each pirate group drops their own unique pirate ship part, so you need to encounter every single one and defeat them to obtain them, which means going up multiple items on multiple different routes, and a lot of resets until you get them. Remember, you can change the applicable spawn rates in the cheat shop. Now that is the easy part, because the rest you obtain the same way you get the Puppy Paw Stick and the Flanzor X ship parts, just with a lot more to collect. And I mean, a lot more. The higher the level of the unit you're disciplining, the greater the chance of a pirate ship part dropping. And if you really want to improve your odds, ensure every spawn is on an X dimension map by starting a new cycle and clearing one singular X dimension map, since chests won't spawn on uncleared maps. I'll link this guide in the description of how to set this up since it looks very handy. I say looks because when I first got this achievement, I did not do this, and it took me a long time. Each ship part can only be dropped by certain classes, so you need to run down the very long list of parts, find and capture high levels of those units in either the item world or story maps that you know have them, make good use of the Land of Carnage and stronger enemy cheat shop stars, and I'll link yet another guide of which units drop which parts. Note that I'm not sure if these are 100% accurate since I remember not having any luck with certain parts with the listed classes, but then finding those parts later with other units that I was using to try to get completely different ones, so I'll chalk it up to this being really difficult to research or differences between the original version and the Complete Plus version. But for the most part, these lists are extremely helpful. I'd recommend choosing a class, making a list of every part obtainable by that class, capturing a bunch of them at once, and striking them off as you get them. Just anything to quicken up the process and organize things a bit. This will take a long time. You can check all your pirate ship parts in the pirate ship editor. By the way, there are 3 ticket types sold by the raffle shop, the Gargoyle NPC's mystery room in the item world, that also drop treasure chests in random maps. People have reported getting pirate ship parts from these too, so if you happen to have any on you, you can try your luck with those too. I'm not sure if they're able to find every pirate ship part or which ones they're limited to, but that's an option. Next up, special skills. Don't worry if your effects are set to skip in the settings, I'm sure you've caught on by now, but special skills you're seeing for the first time will still play their animations regardless of whether you have skip enabled or not. Once you see an animation play for the first time, it'll be logged in the records NPC, which categorizes all of the skills into neat little categories. So we'll run down them and go over how to see all of these. First off, since they're the simplest to explain and use, unique skills. This covers the categories of monster, humanoid, and simply skills in the records. These are all of the skills only learned by one unique character or class. For classes, you can use the ones you leveled up for the Unlock All Classes achievements and use their skills as you go, since all unique skills are unlocked by leveling up. Just take a relatively high level class or character, you should never need more than like level 100, use all the unique skills they have at their disposal, indicated by this hand icon, or a staff icon for some humanoid specific support skills like the Beast Tamer's Dominate or the Magic Knight's anti-element spells. It doesn't matter if the skill doesn't have a flashy animation, if it's a skill someone can use, you gotta see it. Make sure to go through all the unique characters too, even the ones that just look like clones of each other. For example, Disgaea and X have basically the same everything, but their entries count separately in the records. Same for President Hugo and the Thanatos class. The one caveat here is that this also includes some NPC skills, such as Baal and Pringer X. Just bait them into using their skills and you don't even need to clear the map, you can quit right away and they'll still be registered. For weapon skills, there are 9 tiers of skills each humanoid non-staff weapon can use. Monster weapons don't have their own skills, and staff skills, or magic skills, are a whole different thing we'll get to. You'll very likely have already seen the first 6 skill tiers for each weapon by now, but if you haven't, just make a high tier of a character that has the given weapon as their forte, share some mana with them with the evil symbol, and have them purchase whatever weapon skills you need. Tier 7 and 8, again, can only be obtained via the Chara World, by utilizing the Combat Master. Just don't forget to actually use them once you get them. Tier 9 skills are new to Disgaea 4. Only a small pool of unique characters or classes have access to these. I'll display them on the screen now, taken from the wiki page on all the weapon skills, which I'll link in the description if you want more detail. As for magic skills, these can be split into support spells and damaging spells. Damaging spells are just your elemental attacks. Fire, Wind, Ice, and Star. Each of these have 6 different tiers: Normal, Mega, Giga, Omega, Terra, and Petta. All tiers can be learned by any witch or skull of that element specialty. Red for Fire, Blue for Ice, Green for Wind, or Star for Star. Prism and Galaxy Mages can only learn up to Omega tiers. As for buffs, the Flora Bees can learn all 6 stat increasing buffs. For debuffs and status ailments, look no further than the Shaman. It can learn all 6 stat debuff skills and all 5 status ailment skills. And the Cleric can learn all 6 tiers of healing plus Esquire. Magichange skills are exactly what they sound like. Unique skills that are usable by a humanoid wielding a Magicchanged weapon. Take every monster class you have, including monster type unique characters, Magichange them with someone, and use all the skills that are available. That covers all the Magichange skills. Last, and pretty much least, are Tower skills. Any humanoid can learn all these, and some require a certain amount of stacked units to use. Just make a tower of 10 and use all of them with someone. And that is every single special skill in the game. Unique skills for every class and unique character, including Baal and Pringer X, all 9 skills of swords through axes, elemental damaging spells, stat buffs, stat debuffs, healing, and Esquire, Magichange skills with every monster, and tower skills. That just leaves us with collect every item. Now, this only requires 1 of each item. You don't need each rarity of every item. That would be madness. As long as you have some version of each item registered into your record with no question marks to be seen, you will get this achievement. If you'll look at our handy dandy item chart, these too are categorized into neat boxes. Kind of. Some are still quite miscellaneous, and others are actually nowhere to be found on this chart. Hello, Fun and Slayer weapons, and hello, rank 41 items. Yes, you fucking heard me, rank 41. Now, a lot of this boils down to just grinding chests, preferably legendary ones, in Land of Carnage reverse pirating floors, and searching for any items that any enemies may have equipped that you can steal while you're there. I highly recommend making a list of every item you don't yet have, using this item chart as a reference, and looking up a list of Fun and Slayer weapons. I'll elaborate more on those in a bit, and looking for them on enemies while you're on reverse pirate floors. Strike them off when you get them from chests or steal them from enemies. Now, starting with weapons and armor. As for ranks 1 to 30, you can just buy them at the shop with the max product rank. If there are lower ranks you don't yet have, try decreasing your product rank so they can spawn more. Ranks 31 to 39 will have to be searched for on enemies or from chests. Again, make a list. When it comes to rank 39 enemies, you of course want the legendary versions so you can then steal the rank 40s from the item god. But you're not done yet. Disgaea 4 introduces what we'll call, for the sake of simplicity, rank 41 items. I briefly touched on this when I mentioned the invincible armor, but this applies to all weapon types and armor, and you'll never guess how to get them. Steal them from the item god of the rank 40 item. This means for each weapon and armor type, you need to run through all 100 floors, not once, but twice. And even then, you're not done with weapons and armor. Introducing Fun and Slayer weapons. Fun weapons are indicated by their unique icon, a yellow circle with an exclamation point. You'll see these a lot on certain pirate groups. This is why I said to steal them whenever you find a pirate equipped with them, because it'll save you the time hunting for them later for this achievement. Other than on pirates, all the fun weapons, and indeed the Slayer weapons, can be obtained by our good friend the Discipline Room. Again, a guide with a list will be in the description. Higher level enemies are better, go for X dimension chests, yada yada, you know the drill by now. Some weapon types have a lot of fun weapons, but there exists only one Slayer weapon per weapon type, bar stabs. The whole gimmick of these Slayer weapons is that they get a bit stronger upon defeating another user's pirate group with them, but it takes forever and just isn't really worth it. As far as I'm concerned, these only exist to be a pain in the ass. Oh, and all the weapons for magic change monsters show up here too, although you'll get these automatically when you use their skills for the He Got Skills achievement. But they all do have entries here, so make sure you magic change with all monster classes and all monster unique characters. And that does it for weapons and armor. As far as shoes, belts, and glasses go, the lower ranks can again be obtained by the Rose and Queen Evil symbol. For higher ones, again, just through chests and stealing them from enemies. And same goes for muscles, orbs, and emblems, although these are common rewards from the Hub World Hospital, so you'll probably have most, if not all, of the lower ranked versions of these. As for the higher ranks, you guessed it, chests, but for emblems, the Exodus can be a little bit elusive. Don't worry, you can find enemies equipped with these on the very last X Dimension map. Weights can be a little tricky since you can't really buy them from any shops and enemies won't be equipped with them. But I believe you can still get them from chests and you can definitely get them from bonus gauges. Luckily, the highest rank of weight is 25, so you don't have to do any Land of Carnage stuff. Just scour the bonus gauge in a specific map or reverse pirate a lower tier item. I've also read that the Commando pirates tend to be equipped with a lot of weights, so try your luck there if you feel like you need to. As for snacks, again, you'll have nearly all of these naturally, either in the shop, from the bonus gauge, from chests. There are a few though that can be tricky. For example, there are numerous rank 35 plus snacks, some of which can be pulled from chests, but some of which can only be found in a Land of Carnage bonus gauge. You just need to traverse the item world until you see one, and you could try passing the political fundraiser bill in the Senate to fill the bonus gauge sum on your first floor. I know it says it gets filled up to max, but for whatever reason in the item world it seems to only go up 3 levels. Or you can make an Onmyo monk, since he has a unique skill that changes all the bonus rewards on an item world floor. Other than these, the pizza can only be obtained by using a cell phone in battle, specifically one that says, call in a special delivery. Ramen can only be obtained via the Heavy Knight NPC in the item world mystery rooms. Other item types can also only be found in these mystery rooms. Cell phones from the Prinny, experience and mana potions from the Magic Knight, and stat boosting salves from the cat. And bribery items from the chicken. It's random which ones are available when you encounter these, so cross your fingers and pray they have what you need. Otherwise, time to find them again. And yes, each cell phone type needs to be collected as well. And that's basically all of the overarching categories. There are just a few unique miscellaneous items left to cover, among them being the 5 items for clearing each 20% milestone of the X Dimension stages. There's also the Accelerator, Propel Veneer, and Barefoot X, which all give you more movement, but for some reason aren't actually categorized as shoes. Again, just get these from Land of Carnage chests, or the bonus gauge. The Makai Wars is a special emblem you can only get from either the Zeta fight, or if you missed it from him, the Pringer X refight. Yes, the one with 8 Pringer X's. There's also the Prinny suit. This can only be obtained from the very first Pringer X fight. If you didn't get it from him, sorry, you need to start a whole new cycle. The last few very miscellaneous things that are noted in the records are a Mr. Against the Exit, I'd be genuinely impressed if you haven't gotten one of these, and all 5 hands, 4 of which can just be bought from the shop, and the awesome hand will, I don't know, just magically appear in your inventory, bonus gauges, chests, yada yada. And lastly, every single promotion hell ticket, aka the X Dimension tickets. Again, you buy these from the Scalper, the Ku Sith NPC, in Item World Mystery Rooms. There are separate ones on floors 1 through 50 and 51 through 100. And the 3 other tickets that can spawn treasure maps, the Release ticket, Unlock ticket, and X ticket. These can be found from the Gargoyle NPC in its Item World Mystery Room. And once you finally have all of these, your work here is done. At long last. You've done it. The platinum or ribbon or pure satisfaction is in your hands, and you can walk away jobless but with 100% completion in Disgaea 4. Truly, the Disgaea 4 has been completed plus. I hope this video was at least a little bit helpful. I'm doing a whole series where I try to make a guide on each of these games in release order, and as always, feel free to leave any questions down below. I've been Mags, this has been Disgaea 4, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.